Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another video, and a very exciting video indeed. Finally, iRacing have announced that the BMW LMDH is finally coming to iRacing. This was heavily rumoured. We know iRacing works very closely with BMW for the BMW M4 GT3, so to see this officially announced is very exciting indeed. Now, the number one question I think on everyone's mind when they saw this is quite simply, will this be here for Daytona 24 Hour? Who knows? It looks like it will be. It does say in the official statement that it's looking to come next year, but you can bet your bottom dollar that iRacing will be pushing like crazy to get this thing ready for Daytona. If they can get this thing ready and in the game for the Daytona 24 Hour special event in January at the start of next year, it will be huge. People will absolutely love it. People will flock back to the service, in my opinion, to give it a try. So I'm very, very excited for it. And I'll be honest with you, if it is available for Daytona 24, do I see myself giving it a go? I'm very much an LMP2 driver, as many of you know if you watch my channel. So would I sacrifice the LMP2 for this car, for that special event? I think I would. I'd like to give it a try. I'd like to give it a real good run-in. And I think a 24-hour race at Daytona would be awesome to give it a try. And I do believe that's actually where it's making its debut, I should say, in real life. So, very exciting times indeed. Now, with this coming to the game itself, it's not all positives, unfortunately. There are some cons. And the main thing is, the main con really, is that they have announced that it will be replacing the LMP1 cars. Now, personally, I was never really a big fan of the LMP1 cars. I've been taken out many a times by people in the LMP1 car, when I'm in the LMP2 or GTE or whatnot. And it was never popular, really. Since the LMP2 came out, it was never a popular car or series of cars ever again. It was gone. The class of car was just, it's dead. You know, you do these kind of, you do the European Sprint Series, and every time you do a race, there's normally just one split of them, and there's like 4 or 5. And you can get someone from like 7K all the way down to like 0.8K or whatnot. So it was such a vast difference in iRating. It was never competitive. It was never fun. And it was a huge risk for everyone else. So I won't be sad to see them go in that respect. But, you know, I'm sure many of you, just like myself, fell in love with the LMP1. Well, I did, essentially, when I used to watch Jimmy Broadbent do his endurance races back in the day in the tractor in the Audi R18. So in that respect, it will be sad to see them go. Will there be another series that could really utilize them? I don't think so. Because they're already giving people refunds for anyone who's bought the cars in the last year or in the last 90 days since this announcement. So I see it going. I don't think they'll be coming back. I think if you've got the LMP1, I suppose now's the time to use it, because it will be going. And I don't ever see it coming back. They're quite outdated. So yeah, unfortunately, they will be going. But yeah, hopefully, you know, with the BMW LMDH coming in now, it will freshen up the series, both IMSA and ESS actually, because it's going to both. And yeah, hopefully we'll see participation levels rise, because that's what we want. We want more people racing. And yeah, fingers crossed, the BMW LMDH, is actually a very good car indeed. So we shall see. Now, talking about the LMDH car, the BMW one, coming to iRacing, and the LMP1 car being dropped, that means there's going to have to be some changes to the ESS series. And not just the European Sprint Series, but also IMSA as well. Now, how it's going to work with IMSA is quite simply, IMSA will lose the McLaren GT3. Because currently, iRacing only has an 8-car limit per series, which is rather annoying. So we do lose the McLaren. The McLaren's horribly outdated, but we don't want to see a car going just because of the limitation of the system, you know. If the car's still perfectly good to drive, then you should be able to drive it, kind of thing. But and I also believe that the Z4 should be in place of the McLaren, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, sadly, the McLaren GT3 will be going, so that the LMDH BMW can join. Now, it is again heavily rumoured that there won't just be the BMW LMDH, there'll be other cars. So what will happen then when that happens? You know, what happens if another LMDH brand comes in and joins iRacing, and then there's 2? what happens then? Do we get rid of another GT3? Or, you know, I think we just need to increase the car limit. I know it was only increased to 8, I think, in the last year. So I think increasing it to 9 is probably something that they really do need to work on. So if you're doing IMSA, you will get the BMW, but you'll lose the McLaren. Okay, so that is going. Now for ESS, the LMP ones are going. They'll be gone, so you won't see them anymore. And that will obviously have the BMW LMDH. I wonder how many times I've said that already in this video. Crazy. But yeah, that'll be going. So the LMP ones are going. BMW will be in. And no further changes. So the LMP2 and GTE will come into effect. Now, I'd like to quickly touch upon the fact that the LMP2 is very, very quick. Much quicker than what it is in real life. So when the BMW LMDH does come, I expect a big, big nerf to the LMP2. I expect it to be much, much slower than what it is right now. Probably, I don't know, say like a lap at Sebring, maybe like 2-3 seconds a lap slower. I know it sounds drastic, but they are quite a bit slower in the WEC series, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I hope I've got that right. They've had a few nerfs in real life because they were just as quick as the faster classes or whatnot. So yeah, they had to be nerfed. So fully expect that to happen in iRacing when this LMDH car, or when the LMDH series of cars do come into effect. So yeah, expect that as well. Something that I didn't talk about, but that is something that's I'm pretty sure is going to happen. So yeah, ESS, lose the LMP1s, gain the LMDHs. LMP2s and GTEs do stay. I'm surprised by the GTE staying, got to be honest. The GTE, Porsche GTE is saying goodbye, I think, this weekend or next weekend. Bahrain, 8-hour or 10-hour, I believe. It's their last race, so that will just be gone completely in real life as well. So that won't be racing anymore, that'll be gone, which is a shame. But there you go. What an iconic car as well, and the noise. Absolutely superb. Amazing. And let's move on to the next post here. I saw this post. Someone put it in my Discord. Basically, what they're planning in the forums is to change the length of the European Sprint Series race length. They want to change it from 1 hour to 45 minutes. Now, I was a little bit selfish and premature, and I didn't really think too much about this. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go ahead and cast your vote on this. But they're basically having a vote on whether it should be 60 minutes or reduced to 45. Now, the idea behind this is so that you could, if you did a 45-minute race instead of a 60-minute one, you could do back-to-back with the IMSA race. All right, that's the plan. But the problem you got with that is it's still not quite back-to-back because you have to, during the grid-up process in ESS, you'd have to withdraw from the race, which you can do, and then sign up for the IMSA one. And it's still quite awkward. It's not quite simultaneous, so it doesn't really quite work, to be quite frank. So yeah, that's the idea of it. So you can swap between the two, but I voted for 45-minute, but I kind of regret that decision now quite heavily. I think it should stick to an hour. And to be honest with you, what I'd really like, and I think the majority of you probably agree as well, I hope, is actually why not change it so ESS is even longer? Because that's what we want. With a new car coming in, new series, I think it should go to an hour and 15, an hour and 30. Because that's perfect then. Because for the LMP cars, it's essentially, if it's an hour and a half, it's guaranteed a two-stop race. So, potentially free if you don't fuel save, if you're just absolutely hammering it. So, yeah, it adds more strategy to it, and an hour and a half seems really good. Good length. I mean, if they reduced it to 45 minutes really would be the longest kind of solo race you can do, unless you look to the endurance races at the weekend. And I think you can do a 2-hour endurance every 2 weeks or something. So it's not, it's not great. So yeah, if anything, I would want it extended. I wouldn't want it 60 minutes or 45. I'd want it to be a little bit longer, because you do an hour race right now, and you normally finish by about 15 the hour. So it takes about an hour and 15 with practice and quali in the race, and then it's done. And then you got to wait 45 minutes for the next one. And it's like, so what do I do for 45 minutes? So yeah, that would be, I think, taking that all into consideration, I think I'd rather go for the 60-minute. Please do get your votes in. I believe the 60-minute vote is currently winning right now, so make sure you head over there and cast your vote. Have a real good, hard, long think about it. Don't be an idiot like I was and just think, oh, yeah, back-to-back would be nice. 45 minutes, bang. These are endurance cars. The argument is, they should be doing some sort of endurance racing. And having it an hour or more is actually very good preparation for when you do the 6 hour, the endurance races every 2 weeks. So, yeah, that's also a massive benefit. So, yeah, I think that should yeah, I think that should be extended in my eyes. And yeah, I shouldn't have voted for the 45 in my opinion. But there you go. So, so I hope you enjoyed that discussion. A bit more of a discussion video on that. I wanted to give you guys an update on exactly everything that's happening and my thoughts and opinions on it. Please tell us what you think in the comments down below. After all, we pay a lot of money for this service on iRacing, so please, yeah, please you know, vote on the forums and talk, discuss, and let the staff know, because we pay a lot of money for it, so we need to get our voices and opinions heard. So make sure you comment on the forum. Make sure if you got any other thoughts and stuff like that, comment down below on this video. But I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, if you did, leave a like on the video, maybe subscribe for more stuff like this, and I'll catch you for the next one. Take care. Ta-da.